Okay. Alright, there's your equation. You need to solve for x. So, now you have three ratios. You will not be using the A, B, C, D. That obviously isn't going to work. You will need to use the common denominator method. So when using the common denominator method, you extend each line. There. So extend the lines because you're going to need to obviously do some rewriting. Now on top, you don't need to factor, you do need to put parentheses. There's no plus or minus up there with the 10, but there is here, 7x plus 8, that's an 8. And then there's no plus or minus there, so now you just drop them. All you got to do on top is put parentheses where it's needed, if there's plus or minus. Now at bottom, you have parentheses because there's a plus, there's a minus, and you need to factor the bottoms. It's the only way you come up with a common denominator. So you take your 2x plus 8 to scratch paper and you factor it. So GCF and DOPS. There's no x, there's no negative, but 2 and 8 would divide by 2. So you need to take that 2 right now and put it down here, okay? Because you will be bringing that 2 over. You don't just get rid of it. So this could be 1x plus 4. So cross out the 2 because I already have it down here for later. Okay, we got a plus. It can't be a dot, so you put 1x plus 4. If your x has a 1 in front of it, take it off. So you replace this with 2 parentheses x plus 4. Put a times dot 2, by the way. X to the second minus 16. Well, I think that factors. I mean, there's 2 terms, so GCF DOPS. That's always what you're thinking when you see 2 terms. Okay, so I don't have x on the end, no negative. 1 and 16 is 1, get out of here. But you have the minus, 1 is a perfect square, it's 1 times 1. So is x to the second, so you attach an x factor on each one. 16 is 4 times 4. So yeah, 1x4, 1x4. Now, you take the 1s off the front of your x's, and that's what you're going to replace. What was there, you're replacing this with this. X plus 4, x minus 4. Then 2x minus 8. So that's 2 terms. GCF and DOPS. Not seeing the x, not seeing the negative, but there is 2. These are both in the 2 row. So 1x minus 4. So you bring down your 2, okay? That doesn't just go away. You don't just get to leave that out, okay? Now you have a minus, and yeah, 1 times 1, but there's no power to the x, so that's a no. So you just bring the 1x minus 4 along with your 2. You really don't want the 1 in front of the x, so if it's a 1, any other number stays there. So you replace this with 2 times x minus 4. So now you're ready for your common denominator. So you have a 2. You have a parentheses with, you see how I'm doing that? I'm not putting these together, okay? You write the 2 down first and the parentheses x plus 4. Then you have x plus 4 again. Well, I already wrote that down. I don't need to write it down again. X minus 4, that's different. Then the 2, I already wrote 2. Yeah, you write those as 2 separate columns. Okay, and then x minus 4, which I've already written down. Okay, so 2's. I got 1 here. I have 0 here. I have 1 here. So in the middle, you need to put a 2. Now that's not a parenthesis, so you put it in front of everything, okay? Not behind. X plus 4, 1, 1, 0. So everything needs 1. These have their 1. This 0 needs to get with the program to catch up. Now parentheses you times from behind. X minus 4, 0, 1, 1. So everything needs 1. Get that 0 up to speed. Now the bottoms are now all matching. Get rid of them. You know it? Yep. So don't want to. So this parentheses is for the first fraction. This is for the second. This is for the third. Now you got to find out what goes inside. Well, this ain't hard. 10 times x, 10 times negative 4. (10x minus 40). Then 2 times 7x, 2 times 8. It's 14x and 16. So you replace that with 14x plus 16. Now I'm over here. 8 times x, 8 times 4. So it's going to be 8x and 32. Okay, simplify it. This side just stays like it is. This side you need to combine like terms. X constant, so it's x and the constant. So 10 and 14 is 24, negative 40 and 16 is negative 24. And you don't have x to the second, so you only have one answer. So you use your linear properties. Okay, so that means you don't clear one side, you take out one of your x's. I'll take this one, okay? Yeah, that's right. 24x minus 8x is 16x plus the negative 24 equals 32, okay? Then you add 24. That would be 56. And then you divide by 16. 56 divided by 16. 3.5, okay. Okay, next problem. CD. Solving for x. Well, this needs a parentheses. This does not. There's no plus or minus. Neither does this. Now, you don't factor anything on top. It's all about the denominator, so you just print. But make sure you know what needs a parentheses, what doesn't. Bottom, well, that obviously needs a parentheses. So does that. So does that. You need to check those for factoring. First one. First one better be able to factor since it's a trinomial. Okay? So it's GCF and table. There's no x, no negative. 1, 8, and 15 is 1. 1 times 15 is 15. It's positive. Okay? So that's a match. That's going to add to negative 8. Okay? Negative 16 divided by 2 is a decimal, divided by 3 is 5. Negative 8. A is 1x to the second, okay? So you can just go to x minus 3, x minus 5 if it's 1, okay? Or if you want to just be safe, put the 1 in front of the x's. They can't divide down. Now take the 1s off the front if they're 1s. So you're going to rewrite that. What's up there is x minus 3, x minus 5. X minus 5. GCF. DOPS. I don't see an X. I don't see a negative. 1 and 5 is 1. You might have minus, but yeah, probably not. So that's a no. So nothing happens to that other than you just bringing it down. X minus 3, the same thing's going to happen. I mean, does it look like a GCF's going to be done? No. Does that look like a DOPS to you? No. You don't even have a second power, and 3 is not a perfect square. So nothing you can do with that. Common denominator, you got X minus 3, X minus 5, X minus 5, X minus 3. Okay. So X minus 3, 1, 0, 1. So everything needs 1, so bring this up to speed. If it's a parentheses, you times from behind. It's a 3. X minus 5, 1, 1, 0. So everything needs 1. Parentheses, you times from behind. Now the bottoms all cancel, okay? This is no times to it. You just write 7x plus 3. Here you take 3x times 1x, and then 3x times negative 3. So that's 3x to the second power, and then negative 9x. This ought to be pretty easy. 1 times x, 1 times negative 5. I mean, I think that's 1x and negative 5. Okay, so let's line this up. This you just put 1x minus 5. Now I got x constant, x to the second power, and x. Okay, so x second, you got 3. X, you got 7 and negative 9. That makes negative 2. And then you have 3. Well, you can add a second answer to that. You have x second x, so you're not applying linear, you're applying factoring properties. Take one side and clear it. You want to clear the side without the x to the second. Okay. So minus 1x, and that goes with the negative 2x plus 5. That goes with the 3. So we have 3x to the second minus 3x plus 8 equals 0. So there's 3 terms. That would be GCF table. There's no x, there's no negative. 3, 3, and 8's 1. Okay. 3 times 8's 24. Since it's positive, the signs have to match. Divide by 1's 24. That's negative 25. That's way too extreme. 24 divided by 2 is 12. It's negative 14. 24 divided by 3 is 8. That's negative 11. 24 divided by 4 is 6. That's negative 10. 24 divided by 5 is a decimal. And then don't do 6 because you already got 6 on the other side of the table. That's a QF. Opposite of b, plus or minus the square root. B squared minus 4ac. B squared minus 4ac over 2a over 2a. Okay, so I got positive, or here, 3, negative 3. A is 3, C is 8, and then A is 3. So you're going to have 3 before. 2 times 3 is 6 underneath. Now put your square root, figure out what goes inside. Negative 87, well, then you're not doing a decimal, you're just going to put I square root 87. Now you can try to simplify it with the 2 square roots, I'm not going to make you. So 3 plus I square root 87 over 6, 3 minus I square root 87 over 6. You can't do the decimal with that. Okay, next problem. Need a parentheses there? No. There, no. There, no. Drop them. There, yes. There, yes. There, yes. You need to see that the bottoms factor. x plus 1. Never factor the tops when it's doing the CD, it's all about the bottoms. So GCF and DOPS. GCF's 1, it's not a DOPS, so no, you will not be doing anything with that. You can't do a DOPS with a plus sign. X minus 1's very similar. GCF, DOPS. There's no X, there's no negative, it's just 1. You might have a minus, and yeah, 1's 1 times 1, but the X doesn't have a power. That's a no, so that one's prime as well. How about this guy here, X to the second minus 1, okay? Get me a piece of scratch paper. There's two terms, so GCF, DOPS. No X, no negative, 1 and 1's 1, get it out of there. This is a DOPS, 1 is 1 times 1. X to the second's X times X, and 1 is 1 times 1. So it's 1X, 1X, 1, 1. Now you take the 1's off the front of the X's, so it's just X plus 1 times X minus 1. Rewrite this as this. Okay, common denominator, well, you have a parentheses X plus 1. You have a parentheses of X minus 1. X plus 1, X minus 1. Seems like I already been down that road, Holmes. X plus 1, 1, 0, 1. So that one needs to get with the program as far as X plus 1 goes. Okay, X minus 1, 0, 1, 1. So obviously this needs, they all need 1. So you go here, X minus 1. Now the bottoms, get rid of them. Now, this is for the first fraction, this is for the top of the second, this is for the top of the third. So 1 times X, 1 times negative 1. I think you know that's going to be 1X minus 1. And I think you know that's going to be 1X plus 1. And this is just going to be 2, drop it. So you're equal to 2. You have X constant, X constant. So X constant. 1 plus 1's 2. Negative 1 plus 1's 0. Well, if you get a 0, get rid of it. Don't put anything. Well, pretty easy to solve for X here. I mean, it's just to the first power. You're applying the linear properties. All you have to do, this is the only X, divide by 2. X equals 1. Linear properties means do this to this side, do this to this side, this to this side, this to this side, and all that. Okay, next one. You need a parentheses here, no, 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 drop them. You still need to insert parentheses on top even though you're not going to factor. That needs a parentheses, that does not, and that already has its parentheses, so I don't need, I'm good, okay? I don't need to mess with that, just put that down there. Now X plus 3, think about that, it's 2 terms. GCF's 1, and it's not a DOPS, it's got a plus sign, so there's nothing I can do with that. And this you just drop anyway. Okay, so CD. You have parentheses X plus 3, then you have outer X, then you have outer X, and then parentheses X plus 3. So I've got X plus 3, outer X, and then I just have the same crap over here, so I don't need to redo that. X plus 3, 1, 0, 1. So where you have 0, you bring in, remember parentheses, you always times from behind. Outer X, that's inner, 0, 1, 1. So So this guy gets with the program. Now this isn't a parentheses, so you times in the front. Okay. Now the denominators are all the same. X times 2 is 2x. I mean, you can write it, but yeah. You need to distribute here. I'm pretty sure that's negative 1x. And negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. And then negative 6. It's not like you have to FOIL or anything crazy like that. Okay, so I'm equal to negative 6. And then I've got x constant. So 2 and negative 1 add to 1. And then put your negative 3. Okay, it's linear properties again. There's only one answer. You only have one single x term right here. So you add 3. It's negative 3. Pretty sure I don't need to divide by 1. Just be negative 3. Okay, next problem. Clearly see it if you need to pause it. CD. Tops. You might not have to factor, but you still need to put parentheses where needed. There's no plus or minus on top there. Or there. Here there is. Now I realize that can be factored with a GCF of 2. Don't do it. You're wasting time. Okay? You're making it more confusing than it needs to be. You never factor the tops. Now bottom, parentheses needed, because I got a plus, a minus, and definitely right there. So x plus 3, you really think you can do anything with that? I mean, it's 2 terms, GCF, DOPS. There's no x, no negative, 1 and 3 is 1, get it out. Plus, that's a no. So you just bring that down. X minus 4, what do you think about that? 2 terms, so GCF, DOPS, GCF's 1. I realize that's a minus sign, but and 1 times 1, 2 times 2, but we don't have x to the second. That's a no. Keep that the same. Now you better be able to do something with this clump of crap here. X second minus 1x minus 12, so it's 3 terms. So GCF table. There's no x, no negative, 1, 1 and 12 is 1, get it out. A, B, C. 1 times negative 12 is negative 12, okay? So, positive, negative, it's got to add to negative 1. Again, negative is a mismatch. 112. Guys, you just want to give up there, fine. Don't complain to me why you don't pass, okay? 12 divided by 3 is 4. 3 plus negative 4 is negative 1. A is 1x to the second. You want to do that old school and just go xx because it's a 1. That's fine. I would suggest some of you people not good with this. xx, 1, 1. You see clearly they're not going to simplify. We didn't do a GCF, so take the 1s off the front and replace this with this. X plus 3, x minus 4. Okay, now your common denominator. You got x plus 3. You've got x minus 4. You've got x plus 3, already got that. X minus 4, don't repeat. You should not have a repeated same column. So x plus 3, I have 1, 0, 1. So I think everything needs 1, so you times by x plus 3, and you times up there behind it. X minus 4, 0, 1, 1. So these already have 1. This one needs to get with the program. Cancel that bottom, okay? Okay, so this is 2x times negative 4. It's going to be 2x minus 8. This isn't hard, 3x plus 9. And there's no times to that one, it's just 2x minus 2. So I'm liking this, no x seconds. So you got x constant, okay? So it's x plus the constant. So 2 plus 3 is 5, negative 8 plus 9 is 1. So the x's I have in here are all to the first power. That's linear properties. Linear properties is not clear one side, okay? You take out one of the x's if they're on opposite sides. You take out 2x by minusing. So that's 3x plus 1 equals negative 2. Then minus 1, 3 times x equals negative 3, divide by 3, and x equals negative 1. Okay, last problem. Just make that a ratio here. Parentheses, there's no. Just drop them. Again, I'll remind you for about the 10th time, if there is a parentheses on top, you still don't factor it, you just bring it down. Bottom, no, yes, no. So that will just drop. Do you really think you can do anything with an x plus 2? I mean, it's 2 terms. GCF would be 1, and it's not a DOPS, okay? So common denominator, we have outer x, and then parentheses x plus 2, and then nada. Outer x, you got 1 here, you have 0 here, top don't count. Is that clear? Top don't count. Bottom has an x, but it's an inner x, so you have 0, and you have 0 here. So you need 1, okay? Remember, so these last two need an outer x. Now it's not in parentheses, so you times from the front. Okay. X plus 2 parentheses 0, 1, 0. So everything needs 1. These first and third need an adjustment. Okay, now the bottom's all matched, they're all the same. Okay. This is going to look like a crappy problem to begin with, but it actually simplifies into something easier. You take 1 times 1x plus 2. X times x is x to the second. Put a 1 in front of it. Now, you're going to take the x times the 1, the x times the 1, and that's 1x. Then you distribute 1x to 1x, 1x to 2. I will show that. So it's 1x to the second, and this is 2x. So if you have 2 times, you do the first times, then whatever you get, you times to the second, the second thing. Okay, so this side I have 1x to the second plus 2. 2x. Over here, I have x constant, x to the second. Okay, so we got 1x second, then 1x, then 2. So it's looking like 2 answers at this point, okay? But here's should be the aha moment. Now when you go to factoring properties, you're looking for a side to clear. And you clear the side that has the smaller x to the second, or the side that doesn't have x to the second. Well, there's x to the second on both sides, but they're equal. So then you get to cross them out, and then you switch your technique, okay? Now it's not factor, it's linear properties. So, take out one of your x's, I'm going to get rid of the 1x. So 2 equals 1x. Pretty sure you can divide by 1, but it's 2. So again, if you have x seconds of equal value, they cancel, and now it becomes a linear properties.